He's never beating the Unk allegations. All right, let's just blast off. Fuck it. Personal news wise, I mean, this is since most of my personal news is going to be me recapping the Faze party anyway. Let's just I phased up last night. Anime Expo later. Expo with friends later. Did you see the fight? No. Faze party was so lit from my room. Yeah, dude. It was lit. They need to nerf all of us. Should I say hi to Wendy? I don't think I know who you guys are talking about. But anyway, phased up last night, Anime Expo with friends later. Do you blast yourself off every day? Yes. Talking beforehand. Get in now. Were you at Canaldi's last night? What the hell is Canaldi's? Okay, do we have a blast off meme or not? Okay, everyone's asking crazy questions in the chat. I don't know why. Okay, so the party was great. I had a great time. You got winning tomorrow, Mexico or USA? I don't know, Mexico, I hope. Shouts out to Claudia. Okay, so we don't have a blast off meme, do we? Everyone is freaking out about, like, did I meet this person? Did I meet that person? And all this shit. And nobody is sending me a blast off meme in the chat to put on this goddamn tweet. Are you getting Emery to dress you up this year? No, I'm not. I'm not even like doing a real cosplay. Okay, I'm not doing a real cosplay. Thank you, Demasius, for the playlist. No, we want to know about the Chakra saga. You hate fun. Did you end up going to New York? Okay, I feel like I can't tell if people are being annoying or if I'm the one who's like, I have a short fuse, maybe because I'm a little bit tad bit hungover, but not really. I think I did a great job of eating a lot after I drank, but I did drink a little bit, and it definitely was. Here we go. This is the blast off tweet. And you guys know as an old man who is supposed to be 34 soon, I don't really drink too much. So when I do, I'm like, I usually suffer severe repercussions the day after. But I didn't this time. And I think it's because, one, I didn't really drink that much. And two, I also ate a bunch. I came home. I ordered myself some, what did I order? Some chicken korma and cheese panan and a little bit of rice on the side. You know, create a comfortable bed that soaks up all the alcohol. I had a baklava. I hydrated a lot, you know. I was eating good yesterday. You will regret not going in cosplay as always. Man, shut the fuck up. I don't have time. What do you want me to do? I don't have any, like, I did not, these past couple of months have been endlessly fucking impactful, jam-packed, nonstop. There's news happening all the time. I did not get a cosplay set up ahead of time. Like, there are people like Emeru and Extra Emily and all these people that like do this stuff professionally. They set it up ahead of time. There's no, I don't know what to, like, yeah, I don't have a cosplay. I don't think I need to do a cosplay. Why am I getting, I can't tell if I'm just like annoyed. Are you streaming from the expo or is it just another short one today? No, I'm streaming from the expo like I have time and time again. Are you going on the majority report? Potentially, yes. No, chat's being fucking annoying. Yeah, I don't know why chat's being extra annoying today. But yeah, yesterday I ended the broadcast early, went to the Faze party with my buddy, with my normie friend, which I always love doing. I always love bringing like a normie friend to an extremely online event like that, because I think it's really funny to see like the interaction of someone who has like, you know, 400 Instagram followers who doesn't do any of that stuff, right? To be in an environment, like a high intensity environment like that, where there's cameras everywhere. But he seemed to enjoy it. I certainly did. I certainly enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was a great fun time. We got in. I met Steve Will Do It. I think that's his name, right? Steve Will Do It, from one of the Nelk boys. I'm meeting all the Nelks now, one by one. I met the professor. That was cool. Yeah, here's a clip of me meeting the professor. I was Fang.
Hey, this is random as fuck. Yeah.
I used to watch his videos in Turkey, brother. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
What's up, man? Hey, hi. I'm Hassan. I don't mean to fanboy over you.
Oh, look.
I know who you are.
Oh, thank you, bro.
I used to watch your videos in Turkey. He's got such a crazy haircut. It's crazy. Who's the professor? He's a famous and one street ball player. And he still does like a lot of stuff. He's like a crazy, he's Mr. Ball handler. He's a real hooper. He will break your ankles. Yes, he will embarrass you. You made him feel old. I mean, he's in his 40s. Bro, I feel old. I feel old all the time. I felt extra old yesterday. Everyone there is like 24, 25. I'm 33. Actually, there were people who were even younger than that. I didn't even know they made people past a certain point. You know what I mean? When I encounter in the wild someone who comes up to me and talks to me and they're like, I'm 22. I'm like, that's crazy that they kept developing newer models after this point. Like, I thought, past a certain point, there's no more new humans, right? Like, I feel like it's over after a certain, like in my head, 2001, you're done. Okay. Who the fuck's born after 9/11? Like, that's crazy. And then somebody would straight up be like, oh, I was born. Like, I was like to me, that's crazy. That's a crazy situation. It's a crazy environment. But yeah, this is I already linked up Lacey with my trainer for Kaya. So Milo's gonna be a very well-trained dog.
Milo?
No, Milo fucks with me the most.
Milo, look at me.
Oh, he smells so good. He smells like a little puppy.
Milo.
Hi, dude. Is that your dad? Get some water?
Jason is too needy. Okay, calm down. Don't be parasocial. Jason is great. Jason, no Riz. He has Riz, bro. Are you kidding me? I thought we all saw the video. He got a kiss. Cutie Cinderella and Hassan defends Zoil from the mini comments from Yugi and Arky.
Because in Clash of Clans, you can like pay for like the
big giant, the ultimate
like
giant.
the giant.
Hey, don't call him that.
But no, but that's what makes.
Leave him
This
alone.
is my guy. Oh my god.
Dude, Cutie is so dope. I was so excited. I mean, don't tell her I said this, but I was so stoked that she came to the party. She's like the glue, you know what I mean? She's the glue that holds everything together. She's a real legend in these parts.
He's normal size.
No,
He's normal size?
You just lying.
To you,
Bro, he is so
I
normal
make you feel normal size, huh?
Yeah, he does make you feel normal size.
And yeah, don't you dare disparage Zoil for his size. Okay?
Yugi stole his shoes earlier.
We're gonna walk. Yeah.
No, don't walk, y'all. No, it's not worth it. It's
I'm
not
walking.
worth it, y'all.
We're out.
No, it's coming. It's coming.
Look, Zoya, look how you left me.
No, dude.
Oh!
Wait, you wanna walk?
Hear the chair. Zoya was
like
Joking about Yugi with Miz. I saw you doing a lot for race relations on the Pogger side. Proud of you for bridging the gap by going after one of the most notorious racists on the Poggers community. Miskiff, from what I understand, is not invited here.
Nah, he's currently banned.
He was so desperate to get an invite, he actually streamed with you.
Dude, was that really bad? I got a couple boss calls.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they were like, because they thought we were being jerks just to be jerks.
No. Miskiff memes all the time. He does exactly what you guys do.
Yeah, but just on the Pogger side, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, it's good to see you again, bro. I remember.
Seeing this brings me back to the peak era of shit camp type of vibes on Twitch. I love it. Yeah, dude, I have to say something, okay? From a content creator perspective, they have it down to a fucking science, okay? No matter how big or small, every content creator there has a camera person that is literally on them at all times. They all have like the TVU backpacks. A lot of them have like the backpacks that even I have. And this is like when I started doing this stuff, like the technology wasn't even there, right? And they'll throw a party, they'll throw an event, they'll allow certain people to also stream the event, and every single person has a camera guy on them at all times. And then instantly, once they're like you know, clip farming. Every single interaction is like a moment, a unique opportunity to like farm something and turn it into a TikTok clip. So then they have people in their chats constantly watching that will just take stuff from the stream and then boom, 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 put it on TikTok and it goes viral. And there's a lot of collaboration happening as well. Like, cause there's a lot of TikTokers there. There's a lot of like YouTubers there. There's like, you know, there's people from all different walks of life basically. And so many different industries as well. Like it sounds dystopian, I know, but like they've got it down to a science. Like it's so perfect. And I you know, we gotta get better at that as a community. I realize like I'm gonna start clip farming and but for socialism. That's what we do. We gotta keep posting these live clips, boom, 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 and like, you know, impactful moments, funny moments from the stream, like, and then post it instantly and turn it into a TikTok clip. So then they have people watching in the chat that put it in TikTok. There's a lot of collaboration happening. There's people from all walks of life. You're just reading things that I'm saying and posting it in the chat. Okay, nice, good. And it's kind of crazy because I've been doing this. Like I've been doing this for years at this point, like the Hasanabi Clips Industrial Complex and all this stuff. Like, but these guys have literally sequenced it out and serialized it. Like they just go, they just have clippers. They have clippers. They have shippers. Every single thing is like designed to have maximum impact. And no, you don't have to like throw. You don't actually have to throw, you know, a massive party or anything like that. But it's smart. It's very smart. You need to clip farm with a politician. That's not serious. You did someone with Zoran. Yeah, you're literally talking about me. I'm posting 20 clips a day. Yeah, no, this account does that for sure. There's like a couple accounts that I repost regularly that do this, and then some of them hit, you know what I mean? Some of them get like 10,000 views, some of them get 65,000 views, and then boom, all of a sudden you got one with like 400,000 views. That's just how TikTok is. It was nice to see how much security I have for the party. Yeah, it wasn't, I thought it was going to be like a little bit like TwitchCon, where, you know, it was going to be like kind of crazy with everybody trying to like take photos and you know, be maybe a little, the vibes would be like a little off. It wasn't. It was like surprisingly very much like a normal party, even though every single person was on camera and was making content. Everyone seemed so disingenuous at the party. Like no one was actually interested in having a conversation. They seemed more interested in creating content. I guess I enjoyed it. I didn't stream it for that reason because I was like, there's so many people. There are so many people that are, there are so many people that are already like streaming it and stuff. So I don't want to, it's not something that I'm interested in. Yeah, this is the most impactful moment from the day.
What do you want to do? Fuck, wait.
And then, hey, we gotta do the nail pose.
Yeah, I meant.
We gotta make this the signature.
Oh shit. Okay, don't be weird.
Can you explain the Jason Sakura lore for all of us that are employed? There was a streamer prom that Funny Mike threw, and Jason was looking for a date, and then he hit up Kaide and Tens to have Sakura, this girl that you just saw, who's Kaide's little sister, and it was cute, and then it became like this big thing. She's farming him. It's pretty obvious, and it's sad to see. See, this is what, dude. That's so funny. You guys are literally, you're like a whole ass adult, man. Aren't you supposed to be like a defense attorney soon? Like you're like, what do you can't, no, that's not, you can't do that. This community is comprised of actual fucking whole ass adults. That's crazy. Just experience it. He's defending Jason. Yeah, this is basically like, as I said before, it's like Love Island. Kind of, it's you know, trashy reality TV drama, but then there's also an interactive component associated with it, which I think can like lead to some, you know, some unhealthy outcomes for sure as a consequence of that engagement factor. But bro, we old hoods wake up at 7 and do our chores and spend the afternoon gaming with a song in the background. Easy life. They both farming away. He hit his peak viewership with her. No, I know. You were chilling with Myung. Oh yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny because wait, first of all, you guys are saying I'm 127, but this is me trying to get Myung to be comfortable, okay? Because I was like, listen, if you feel, I was like, if you don't know what to do, just like bob your head, you know what I mean, along, and then you'll look like you fit in. And then she tried to do it, and she was like this. Yeah, I was being a good friend. You should do shipping content with Zoran. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Speaking of parasocial, okay, this is a God. I saw your Hassan told Arky that he's been seeing his TikToks and is officially Seco parasocial.
Going on a date with one of the girls that's here. I'm parasocial now. For real? I'm parasocial. Damn, you were killing it. You were killing it on the date. Yeah. I can hear right now.
Terrible playlist as well. Aura farming. What is this? Non-Hassan Piker peeping Wendy stream. What is this the person? Is this the person that you guys were saying I should collab with? Is this the Wendy that you guys were talking about? Wendy is a big Latina streamer. She has been speaking out against ICE. Oh, nice. This is rich white girl high school ass party. Them 2012 hits they were playing are older than half the people there. No, I know. It's so funny. But you sound like shit today, Unc. Yeah, man. Unc is tired. Unc is tired. Okay, let's be real. Unc is tired and also lost his voice a little bit. It is what it is. Okay, it happens. You need to have her on the podcast? Yeah, that'd be great. Stream end at some point. Do the cameras go off to be human? I mean, I think they were telling people to shut off the cameras. They said that they were going to shut off the cameras by 7, but I think they had a lot of people watching, so they didn't want to like end it. But then instead, they did end up turning off the cameras or telling people to leave if they wanted to continue streaming. Some people left because they wanted to keep streaming. But it was too late for me anyway. I'm old. I left around that time. Bro's acting like you're a medieval peasant who lived a long life of 40. I mean, yeah, I did. I felt old, for sure. Unc and Auntie, did he take it down? It disappeared from me earlier too. Was this on a Snap story? Life of streamers is so weird, yo. Streaming parties and shit as a 36-year-old is just crazy to me. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of weird things that we do. All right? It's not normal. Are people not allowed to live past a certain age? I mean, there were some dudes there that were like clearly very old, much older than me even. And they had like blue hair and shit. And I was thinking like, I never want to be like that. No disrespect to those guys, but no. Like, I'm just chilling. I love how people who say that always have to up your age to make the point. And no, I'm not talking about the professor. The professor is a legend. I did see Bradley. Yes, I hung out with Bradley a little bit. You wouldn't catch Sam Cedar at the Faze party, but it would be sick if he was there. What is this? Yeah. These clip farming pages are wild with the captions. Oh, this is a thing that they always do. They just lie. That's like another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the clip farming pages will just like straight up lie about whatever is on. I've noticed this on my For You page too. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, you know, Marlon met insert celebrity, right? And then it's not actually that celebrity, but they're just like lying so that more people watch it. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, Jason DeWeen meets Thierry Henry, but it's like not him at all. You know what I mean? They'll just like straight up lie. Hassan Piker was not too happy when he reunited with Neon for the first time in months.
Hassan! No, I'm just going to take a piss.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
This guy?
No. You're way more
didn't you guys have beef?
Oh my God!
They just lie for engagement. Seems normal to me. Let me see the burger one. This TikTok perfectly encapsulates 4th of July for this year for us. Trash way to say that name. Thierry Henry. Wait, am I saying it wrong? I did see Bryce. I asked him what the fuck happened. Did he get hit in the head too much? Like he's MAGA now. And he was like, he told me he's not MAGA. He said he's not MAGA. He was just invited to be on stage by Donald Trump. And he was like, he's a historic figure. You know, I took it. And I was like, some historic figures you shouldn't be taking the opportunity to be associated with if I were you. But that's, you know, that's your own prerogative, I guess. Are you late on the MAGA train? That's so much worse. Yeah, it's even funnier. Sam having too much fun at the Tort conference than a Faze conference. But yeah, anyway, but that's it. That's what was popping off. I don't know. Are there any other clips or anything? Wendy got into a fight at the end of the party. I did not see this.
Who said something
You did.
first?
You did. I didn't
You
say
and your
anything.
friend Brie all
I
said
I didn't say anything about you until you called me a deadbeat mom. That's what I said.
No,
something.
this whole thing started.
What is going on here, bro? What the hell is this? What the fuck?
It was because you and Brie Olsen, your little friend, have been talking shit about
No,
me.
you said.
What are you gonna do? Why are
No,
you
you put your
phone?
purse down.
Well, I can put my purse down.
Okay, well I can put my phone.
All right,
Okay,
this
then
is
go
where we
have
end this
it, weirdo.
conversation.
I just want you
Bitch.
to say sorry. For
What am I
calling
gonna
me
say?
a
Okay, you
bitch.
okay?
Sorry
If
for
you
nothing.
Say sorry.
okay, look, don't. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of.
Wait, she stole her 24-karat gold la baby. The other girl DoorDashed her 2-month son. What? The other girl DoorDashed her 2-month son. What does that even? What does that even mean? She is a deadbeat mom, though. She DoorDashed her child. What does that sequence of what the fuck does that mean? What? How do you DoorDash a child, let alone your own child? Like what? Call a Uber to transport your child. She ordered the child on Amazon. Okay. The first time this sentence was ever written, it means she dropped her child off in the middle of the night. Vale DoorDashed her 2-week-old at her BD house, and Wendy called her a deadbeat, and girl confronted her when security was around. What? Okay, this is too much. This is too deep. I don't want to know any of this shit. USPS to use the male children. Let's not forget. People are putting kids in driverless Waymos now too. What? Okay, we've gone too far. I don't want to know about this. I feel like this is I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out. I peeked in. It's too much.
Out of here! What are you doing? You're weird as fuck. You're weird as fuck. Bitch, you're fucking weird. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking weird. Weird ass fucking bitch. Jackson ass bitch. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, fucking weird ass bitch. Fucking touch her. That's some fucking weird ass fucking. Wendy just. She didn't hit you. She didn't hit you.
That's why you
Weird ass bitch.
You cracked open the TikTok Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, that's like, and then the BRB screen kicks in. That's hilarious.
First.
At the end,
Who said something?
You did.
He just
little BRB,
weird ass bitch.
little BRB screen at the end. A little too late at that point, I think. But hey, it is what it is. Keep your eyes closed, chat. No matter what happens. Yeah. Don't people put their kids on planes by themselves? This is so weird. Love tuning in for the news. We're too old for to be at these kinds of parties, bro. Wine dinners only. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any of this stuff, and this is not for me. I had a great time. I had a great time seeing a bunch of people. I evacuated my Texas apartment this morning, watching you from the shelter. Your stream is keeping me sane today. Yeah. What is this? One day Yugi gonna troll the wrong person and get his ass beat, but this was good trolls.
Is that fucking Bryce Hall? Dude, I haven't seen you since Austin McBroom beat your ass.
What? What the fuck?
I'm telling you, bro. But you beat that nigga ass the second time, though, right? Or you?
No, I fought him bare knuckle.
Yeah.
He backed away. He hit the reverse so quick on that. That's crazy. These people need jobs, bro. This is their job.
This is crazy.
I seen you beat his ass.
You're different for that.
No, bro, that wasn't disrespect, bro. That was like I seen.
It's okay. Everyone was disrespect. I mean,
No, it wasn't, bro. Chill.
bro, everyone gets in fights and gets hit. It's how fights go.
It did, and I didn't train for that one.
Yeah.
And you would have
He's gotten big as fuck too. Bryce has actually gotten pretty big. He's gotten pretty brolic. Oh, I met that dude Togi. I see him all over my TikTok For You page as well. The one that loves, the one that absolutely loves Dabs and Lacey's chats were cancerous when you appeared on their streams, especially at Dabs. Yeah, okay. I don't really care about this, especially because I love Adapt, and I've known him for years at this point. Like, he is. Who cares if their fucking chats, or if their chats are like immediately like fuck this guy? Who gives a shit? He doesn't give a shit. Let them cry. Let them fucking cry until inevitably they go, okay, you know what? Guess what? I guess he's kind of cool. That's usually how it works. people will be like, oh, I've only heard bad things about this person, right? That person being me. And then they'll see me in a normal environment, hanging out and interacting with their favorite content creator. And then the rest of the community will obviously turn around and be like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're being weird. And eventually they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy's actually kind of chill. I did not realize he was kind of chill. Faze, that seems kind of toxic. Dude, what are you talking about? He's not at all. He's hilarious and absolutely not. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, chill out. Chill out, little lady.
Beat his ass now, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that fucking Bryce Hall?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Dude,
I saw a chat. No one likes him. How is he so popular? And the chat was so funny. Like, what? Yeah, I mean, exactly. When's the Anime Expo? In a little bit, I will be heading over to the Anime Expo, which I don't even have tickets for, which we got to do that. And yeah, I will. Me and Adapt are working on doing a stream together. Don't worry. We're gonna do something where he's gonna teach me how to trick shot, and then I'm gonna teach him politics. How are you gonna go somewhere with no tickets? Don't worry, we'll figure it out. But yeah, everyone else is wearing cosplay and you're not going to. Some of you do this on purpose. It's crazy. It's crazy to be a 54 month subscriber and do this on purpose. It's crazy to me. Okay, you're an adult anyway. So I was gonna do. Hold on. Let's aim at. Oh yeah, I saw this. The classic skin tone card. They're using the classic skin tone card thing, but like it doesn't. I mean, my skin tone is not that much different than Moist Critical's. It's just people perceive me differently than Moist Critical. I think that's what it is. Connor's okay, different undertone, and he's also pale as heck. Yeah, the Tampa to Turkish gradient, the house tour he gave y'all, dude. It was crazy seeing the house and so differently. Like a house that I've been inside of many times for offline TV turned into like an actual party house. Oh, please continue your Togi story. Yeah, it's like shocking how little these guys actually know about politics or care about politics. But you know, I guess I should not be surprised by that. Did you buy anything from Ronaldo's 7-Eleven? No. I hear Faze Banks defaulted was there.
Hey, Red. What's his name? That's not Banks. Hey.
It's Faze Blanks, dude.
Grab his beard. Grab a real beard. Grab his beard. No. Come here. Let me look at you, bro. I can really rip your beard.
It's crazy how much he does actually look like Faze Banks. Like Faze ATM. Yeah. It's not Faze Banks. It's Faze Blanks.
I'm gonna rip your beard off, bro. If you're really Banks, okay, what's his
Faze Debt. Faze Credit Union. Okay, don't disparage credit unions. Faze Afterpay. Faze Bankrupt. Faze Payday Lender. Savings and loans. What did Kai do with the fireworks? She does not care. This is a dog that does not care. She used to get like a little scared of like big trash trucks, you know, and the noise that they make, but that's it. And like she doesn't get scared of that at all any longer. Connor was phasing hard.
having a great time.
That's the huzz.
Phase the fuck up.
Connor explaining who Bradley is to Extra Emily.
Dude, that's a milk. Turn it around. Turn it around. There's a milk. Whoa. That's a milk boy.
Who's that? That boy?
That's a milk boy.
Who is that?
Turn it back to us. Right there. Turn it back around. Turn it back around.
Smelly girl farts. Oh God. Who was on the Aux, man? Horrific. Bro, they were playing literally every, I mean, the music, the playlist was literally music from my era, okay? Old. As Chad has already pointed out, half the songs were from a time when like half the people weren't alive. This event is not my wavelength, bro. Please get to the news. I really need to put back this kind of stuff into my normal rotation in my variety content that I used to do, because for the first like 5 years of my career, we had a much better balance of news and like normal shit and fun stuff, and you know, IRL content, things like that. I used to do like dating shows and stuff. Like I used to do all of these different things. And I think the community that I've cultivated in the last year, especially like the last 2 years, is like so aggressive about any kind of deviation away from the norm, where people feel like, dude, what are you doing? You're not allowed. You're not allowed to do this. You know, it's fine. It's okay to do some variety and mix it up, especially because that's how you bring in new people into the community. Okay. You've been saying this for months, but you haven't done it. We wanted this. What do you mean? I did it. I did it yesterday, and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it today. And you see the people reacting to it, and I'm trying to get them to fucking shut up, you know? If you hadn't missed a flight to the Zoran party, they'd be silent on this party. Instead, we had to watch Ryan Grimm get drunk instead. Yeah. I mean, this was crazy. I fucking saw this extra Emily clip of Emaru doing a keg stand. That was wild. That was wild. That's wild. 5-second keg stand for her first time is crazy. They're like college students in their mid-29s. What? I mean, true. 12 seconds? Oh, that's even crazier. Oh, goddamn. What the fuck is going on in American parties? I mean, that is... A keg stand is when you just watched it happen. A beer keg is a keg of beer. I don't know how else to fucking describe it. And a keg stand is when you put both of your hands and go upside down and try to drink as much from the tap as you possibly can for as long as you can. Yeah, also, speaking of like fun content, tomorrow, Sunday, I'm taking Hassan the Hood and several special guests at Drag Brunch. IRL stream from the party bus starts at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST. See you there. It's called Drag the Brunch with Austin Show. I'm going to be going to Drag Brunch with Austin Show tomorrow. I'd tune out if I weren't going to a kegger as a 32-year-old tonight. Sick. Would we be wearing matching tank tops? Probably not. The UK, they call kegs Brudley crumbs. I know EU chatters ain't talking about American drinking. Will y'all eat jellied eels and your age of consent is 16? I mean, EU chatters also drink a lot. I would say that American drinking culture is less healthy, though, because the drinking age is 21 as opposed to 18. Because when the drinking age is, this is my theory, but when the drinking age is 18 as opposed to 21, you as a teenager usually start going to bars when you're like 16, as I did in Turkey. And therefore, because it's outside in a more structured environment where there are strangers, you have to be more careful about how much you can drink, as opposed to doing it in secrecy at a house party or whatever, when you're, again, still 16 in America, and you develop a much less healthy attitude about drinking overall. I'm saying that, like, drinking at a young age is probably not good for you regardless. I mean, obviously it's not good for you, but if it's going to be inevitable, it's much better to do in a environment that is, weirdly enough, safer, because it's like a bar environment. I think Americans develop a weird... Whoa. Oh no. Kaya. Oh no, Kaya, little lady. What happened? What happened? It's okay. Don't be scared. It's okay, little lady. Now the thing fell. The strike sign fell over a little bit. Yeah, supervised consumption is better than unsupervised consumption. It's my point. That's what I'm saying. How were the dogs with the fireworks? They didn't give a shit at all. They did not care. How does the other community reacts? I mean, it's not everybody. I think most people that are here don't care that I went out and had some fun. You know, there are definitely some who have like an overall elitist attitude about the process, though, where they're just like, ugh, how dare you do this? You know, but it is what it is. But it's not. It's a tiny group of individuals in the community, in the chat. It's not like a big part of the... What is this? Jamie not being phased is crazy. What?
Hello, Jamie. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Hell yeah.
What'd you get?
I got just a Sprite.
Oh,
It's because I'm on my sober shit right now.
You're on your sober shit?
Yeah, it's because I'm on coke right now. I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. Hell no. Well, hello.
Judging streamers while watching is crazy. Drama clip? What do you mean? Extra Emily dabs up Hassan at the party.
Wait. I have to do something. I have to dap you up. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
Great to see you. Are you getting lit?
Am I getting lit?
Yeah.
I'm drinking a little bit.
Okay, get lit.
Are you?
I'm a little lit. Stay lit.
I drank a little bit. I did. A little bit. Do you see the Sin of Love Island collab? I haven't watched Love Island, so I don't know. Oh yeah, I did see this. Yes. I saw this. Yeah, I'm always. He's a juicer, Lamau. Yeah, I saw that clip. That was crazy. What is this?
This just in, P. Diddy's been found not guilty. This just in, Tiny Chef has just been canceled. This just in, the US is now at war with Iran. This just in, you will never have healthcare or a house. This just in, Jack Doherty found alive at 21. This just in, your parents hate you and Christmas is canceled. Breaking news, Congress has just approved Donald Trump's I am gonna fucking blow you up with lasers.
Were you feeling like an old man there, or were you rizzing up the girls? The girls were rizzing me up, dude, and I kept telling him I'm an old man. I was like, listen, guys, I'm 33. I would just walk away. Like, I'm an old man. I'm Unc. I'm a chaperone, a supervisor. Tiny Chef is back though. Yeah, that was, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Tiny Chef until I saw that incredibly sad video on Twitter, and it made me so sad when they were canceling Tiny Chef, and now I'm a Tiny Chef fan. You're basically 1 foot in the grave at this point. Shaking my head, old. It's true. Tagged you on IG. Thanks, man. Tiny Chef is not back. I thought they were fundraising to bring it back. But yeah, all right. Well, we're gonna switch pace here for a little bit before we head over to Anime Expo and do a little bit of news coverage. What? Tiny Chef is not back? Daily Mail is lying? I thought Tiny Chef was what do you call it? I thought it was getting fundraising like to. This is what I saw. Oh no, not this one. Sorry, the one that was like really sad. The Christian Divine TikTok where he mentions getting DM'd.
TikTok is not a pussy getting venture for me. It's not even an objective of mine, and my account is not geared towards that at all. And that's not to say that there isn't pussy in the TikTok game. There is, just not from the angle at which I'm approaching it. I'm known for a few things, okay? People think I'm attracted to clowns. People know I like World of Warcraft. I have leftist politics. I talk about history sometimes. I talk about rap sometimes. And for the last weeks, I've talked about 100 men fighting one gorilla. There is no pussy in that. It is, in fact, pussy repellent. My DMs are full of men asking me to hop on rivals, bro. That is what my world looks like. Even my girlfriend, who I love and adore, saw me on TikTok before we ever met in real life. And we only met through just like mutual friends and not in a dating way. And when we met for the first time, she was like, I think I've seen you before on TikTok, but I never followed you because I just couldn't read your vibe. Meaning that the person I am happily with today saw me on TikTok and was like, nah. In fact, the closest thing I've even come to that kind of clout is that the people who were hoping that when I met up with Hassan, that I would give them Hassan's number to just sort of through the transitive property, pass the pussy along to him. So no, the thing here is the reason I even made that video.
He did not do that, for the record. So I am oblivious.
Is the whole 100 women versus apologizing versus accountability, is that I've seen that comment on every goddamn gorilla TikTok I've scrolled into, and it's the corniest, lamest fucking joke. And maybe sometimes you niggas are corny. She's not gonna let you hit. You niggas are corny. I hate corny niggas. And I can use my platform. I got almost 700,000 followers, dog. It's so fun to call people corny to an audience. Imagine if you got to call somebody corny and then everybody cheered for you. It's like a layup, dog. It's that picture of LeBron and D Wade where I just get to be like, as everybody boos you. Even this right now.
Yeah, this is what I saw, and it made me really sad for no reason. I did not even know anything about Tiny Chef. Going back to Tiny Chef, I didn't even know anything about Tiny Chef until I saw this video, and it made me sad.
Best brother, Tiny Chef here. Hey, Black of Woden, Black of Kiwi. Ready to cook up some more episodes? Black of a brilliant blanket. Canceled? Bloody amazing canceled. But listen, Blueberry had training, but you behave on set, I promise. But I have black ears that will blow your minds. I've been with brother Blebby.
Yeah. Blup, make bloodian. Block them. They want to blame me. They want to blame me.
Wob, Brady King, Cake, Patty, Blemke. Where? But all my friends. Right? But I understand. Love you too. Bye.
Oh, and then he cries. Oh my God. 379,000 likes, 117.5 million views. It made me, this was so sad. For the love of God, please talk about the news, man. Take a week off. Take a week off. This was my first encounter with Tiny Chef, and instantly it made me sad. Instantly. Yes, dude. Of course I saw Will Neff's post about going to Anime Expo. Why? Like, do you think this is the first time I'm hearing that Will Neff is going to the Anime Expo? Do you feel like we haven't set this up ahead of time? I'm tagged in the post, chatter. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You look like you eat nuggets with ketchup? Never. Yeah, my Will is Batman. So what I was gonna do is basically Clark Kent, not Superman, but Clark Kent. I need a Superman t-shirt for it, just like to have inside of a regular shirt, okay? But even then, go as Robin. I can't just fucking, guys. It's not anime. I'm going to literally, I'm gonna end it all. I swear. My trigger is, I'm on a hair trigger right now. Yeah, this is Will's full fit.
Oh my
which
God.
you will probably see. It made an appearance on the, it made an appearance on the pod as well. I'm not used to watch normal stuff. I don't know how to act. I know people go fucking like the people go crazy on the other side of this.
This city needs a dark protector. Fat cats have run around for long enough. On vengeance.
Yeah!
Anyway, all right, let's get to the fucking news. Just so everyone can stop being fucking insane in the chat. Oh.
Central Texas, at least 24 people killed, and the urgent search going on right now for more than 20 girls missing from a summer camp, completely destroyed by the raging waters. ABC's Maria Villarreal is on the ground there in Kerrville, Texas. Maria, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I do feel like I need this shave for it, so I don't know if I should. Like Clark Kent with a beard, is that crazy? I don't want to shave, but I already have the glasses. I mean, the glasses I'm wearing are perfectly fine for this. Go as the Red Sun? No, dude, I'm not going to go as the Red Sun because I don't have the fucking Red Sun fit, okay? Like, I can't just, like, materialize an incredibly fucking costly, out of nowhere cosplay for Red Sun Superman out of nowhere, okay? It would be awesome, but I can't do that.
As of right now, we are standing on the banks of the Guadalupe River, and this is not what it normally looks like. You can actually see, even though the rain has subsided for now, all of the devastation and debris clearly right behind us. Crews in this area coming from all over the place and working throughout the
yeah, we're talking about the flash floods in Texas now.
night to try and find the missing.
This morning, search and rescue crews desperately looking for the missing following the deadly floods in central Texas. The storm killing at least 24 people, with many more still missing. Families pleading for information after more than 20 children still unaccounted for from a summer camp.
I have assured all of the local officials here, whatever these communities need, the state of Texas is going to step up and provide it.
The city of Kerrville seeing some of the worst devastation, urging residents to evacuate and move to higher ground. The mayor issuing a disaster declaration as the Guadalupe River reaching 26 feet high, the second highest recorded height in history. 12 inches of rainfall in a matter of hours, flooding roads, buildings, and cars, and sweeping away houses. Entire neighborhoods left unrecognizable. This RV park completely destroyed. The same flood waters almost sweeping away this man and his wife.
We went ahead and jumped out, and we got washed down 3 houses, and we finally ended up snagged on on a big bush.
Helicopters hovering over trees, performing urgent rescues like this one. Crew members picking someone out of the branches. In nearby Hunt, Texas, families urgently trying to find their loved ones at Camp Mystic, an all-girls summer camp of 750 children. More than 20 campers still missing.
We will stop at nothing to ensure that every asset and person and plane and whatever is needed is going to be involved in the process of rescuing every last person.
The camp was evacuated after flooding hit the Guadalupe River, and while some parents have been reunited with their children, others continue to wait for answers. The family of one camper, 10-year-old Greta Toronzo from Houston, telling us that their daughter is still missing.
Please pray for our community. This is a hard day, and there will be hard days to come.
Absolutely devastating, obviously, for this entire community and also for the families of the missing. Some of them are actually posting pictures just like this with their names and information of many of these campers, trying to get the word out there of what their children look like, trying to aid in the rescue and the search any way they can. Meanwhile, officials are warning this community that more rain is on the way for later today. Janae?
Just unimaginable heartbreak for those families, Maria. Thank you. Let's bring in Cheryl Scott from our Chicago station WLS. And Cheryl, what can you tell us about this flooding?
Yes, and more flooding expected through.
Texas officials blast National Weather Service for faulty forecast and deadly flood disaster. Ryan Grimm says, I could not possibly be filled with more rage after seeing Texas Republicans blame the National Weather Service forecast for the unspeakable tragedy that hit the girls' camp. You were warned this would happen if you fired everyone. You actively chose to fire as many scientists working on the federal government as possible and have even taken weather balloons out of the sky. These were people who dedicated their lives to this stuff, and you fired them so you could do tax cuts. You do not now get to complain that weather forecasts are off. Please go find these girls and rehire these scientists. It can't be known at this time what the specific effect of the cuts was. What can be known is nobody who supported all the firings gets to complain about the performance of an agency they torched. And stop letting people build in known danger zones. Do you think the warning coordination meteorologist position at the Austin San Antonio office was important? He left in April as a part of the Doge cuts, which offered early retirement to reduce the workforce. It's now vacant, part of the strategy of reducing staff through attrition.
That we received on Wednesday from the National Weather Service predicted 3 to 6 inches of rain.
This is the same as like air traffic control, reducing the numbers of air traffic control for decades and decades and decades, and then complaining that planes are either not on time or falling out of the sky. It's just like they did this, they made this problem, and then they get to complain, I guess.
In the Concho Valley and 4 to 8 inches of rain in the hill country. We worked with our own meteorologists to fine-tune that weather statement, and as many of you know, and many of you in broadcast journalism and meteorology, you can go back and look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
This rain event sat on top of that and dumped more rain than what was forecasted on both of those forks. When we got the report, it was about 7 feet or so on the South Fork, and within a matter of minutes it was up to 29 feet, and all of that converged at the Guadalupe, and that's where we saw those very quick rise in flood.
But listen, everybody got the forecast from the National Weather Service, right? You all got it. You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw. The original forecast that we received on Wednesday.
Texas is blaming the National Weather Service for the weather changing from the original forecast. The 3 satellites that the Department of Defense stopped allowing NOAA access data from June onward from June 30th were specifically designed to monitor rapid intensification like what occurred. If you want to point fingers, start there. We have warned about the National Weather Service and NOAA and their regular business being disrupted. Not only underfunded, but like deliberately left in a state of disrepair for months at this point. And now that the chickens are coming home to roost, the fact that the very people who like played a key role in this, the party administration, the apparatus that played a role in this, the ideology that played a role in this, the ideology that also is playing a formative role in defunding FEMA as well for disaster on the disaster relief side. Make no mistake, like we're burning the candle from both ends here. Okay, we are disrupting the ways in which, like, we're not doing anything about climate change. Okay, that's a given. right? That's not happening. But the fact that we are also simultaneously making it harder to predict, to take the additional steps necessary for at least like saving more lives, and then simultaneously defunding the aspects that are perhaps most necessary in the upcoming years, like FEMA, to engage in the recovery and rebuilding efforts, is insane. This is not negligence. This is deliberate. I don't know how else to read this other than like they just want people to be victim to natural disasters that are going to keep increasing in size, magnitude, frequency as a direct consequence of anthropogenic climate change. And because these sorts of any sort of real measure, any sort of real systemic solution to anthropogenic climate change is seen as like anti-capitalist and woke and communist and leftist, but because it's like harmful to the bottom line of the oil and gas giants, the fossil fuel industry, which we are firmly committed to, we are not only not doing anything about climate change, but we're also taking this additional step to reduce any sort of warning system that we had, like significantly cut back on the warning systems that we have and cut back on the recovery and relief systems that we have as well. It makes no sense. There have been claims about NOAA NWS did not foresee catastrophic Texas floods, but that's simply not true. This was undoubtedly an extreme event, but messaging rapidly escalated beginning 12 hours prior. Flood watch mid-PM, heads up, outlook late PM, flash flood warnings 1 a.m. WPC issued as many 6 MPDs for the deadly flash flooding in the Texas Hill country, starting yesterday evening and lasting through much of today. The first MPD generally set the stage for what was to come, while the next 3 shown were as the event unfolded. As always, it's not to blame the victims. Quite the opposite. This truly was a sudden and massive event and occurred at the worst possible time, middle of the night. But problem, once again, was not a bad weather prediction. It was one of the last mile forecast / warning dissemination. I am not aware of the details surrounding staffing levels at the local National Weather Service offices involved, nor how that might have played into the timing and sequence of warnings involved. But I do know that locations that flooded catastrophically had at least 1 to 2 plus hours of direct warning from NWS. A big part of the problem, I think, is also, this is not victim blaming at all, but from all the Texas chatters that were in here yesterday, from what I understand, and I kind of get it from LA as well, because like we rarely have flash flood warnings, but it does happen every now and then. But oftentimes when a flash flood warning comes in, it's not as severe, right? So I think it's one of those things where people see that, especially at night. They didn't even see it most likely, but when they see it, they just ignore it because they just don't think that it's like super deadly. No one takes flash flood warnings seriously. I have received flash flood warnings in the past in Los Angeles and just went, oh well. And I guess like, especially with the frequency of flash flood warnings in a place like Texas, people most likely assumed it was just like a little thing and not as severe, not as significant. It's like, it's the worst of all events coming together. Holiday weekend, happens at night, rapid escalation going from the, 6 foot to what, like 20 plus feet out of nowhere. Like it was just it was a horrifying situation, especially when you consider that most of Texas is built on floodplains. So with no real way to have the water move through the land or have the land suck up the water. So there's also that. I don't know Texas state specifically, but usually there's also like a levee system that they have in a lot of these states that are susceptible to extreme flooding that ends up destroying some of the lower income neighborhoods in an effort to save the higher income neighborhoods. That is a real levee structure that they have in places like Louisiana, for example, where they will quite literally build levees that end up dumping more water than normal into lower income neighborhoods in an effort to save higher income neighborhoods. So there is that aspect of capitalism as well. No, I don't think the levee system happened here. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is, like, I'm making a broader point about how the way we design society ends up harming poor people more in events like this. I'm not saying that this is what happened in Texas. So it's basically the powder keg situation. One thing I do know is that this part of Texas Hill County is infamous for a sudden and violent flood risk. That is an intrinsic product of being a hilly region with flashy watersheds subject to occasional but very extreme precipitation events arising from the bathtub warm Gulf. I'm not really clear on why a region so well known for its severe flood susceptibility apparently did not have a better warning system in place. That's something I'm sure the others with better local knowledge can dissect in greater details. But this does illustrate a few tragic and uncomfortable truths. The first is that even quite good weather forecasts do not automatically translate into life-saving predictions. There's a lot of other work that has to take place to contextualize the forecast and ensure it gets to the right people. The second is that the NWS historically has done a very good job at that forecast contextualization, outreach to the local governments, emergency managers, outdoor recreation facilities, etc. But that's one of the first things to go away when offices are critically understaffed. Exactly. Like, this is a suspicion, right? Because at this point, we haven't done an autopsy yet. There is no like full-blown autopsy yet as to how we got to this point, right? But the initial suspicion is that given the budget cuts and the understaffing that already exists in a lot of these agencies, it probably limits the amount of outreach they can do in a critical moment, which is precisely the reason why these agencies should not be understaffed ever at any given point, because this is a life-saving measure. It is crazy. It is crazy that this is like even a point of contention. Hold on. Doors open.
Throughout the morning into the afternoon, just catastrophic damage in this region. And obviously, we've been talking about those fatalities. We are looking at some of the scenes coming out of this area, and you can just see that destruction, the raging waters. We have impact.
FEMA closure announcement is in Texas from July 2nd. Disaster recovery center closing permanently. 3 disaster recovery centers in South Texas are closing permanently. Hidalgo County, Starr and Willacy County. The following DRCs remain open: Cameron, Harlingen, Hidalgo, and West Laco. Nice. It's great. I know new party just dropped. Elon Musk dropped the new party. I know.
And destruction to homes. You can see the trees down, and then this is overlooking the Llano River in Texas right now, and you can clearly see the raging, rushing water here, clearly overflowing its banks. More rain on the way, and that's why we do have alerts up in effect for parts of central Texas. We have that flash flood emergency, which has been issued for parts of Travis and Burnett County throughout the morning, with an additional 5 to 10 inches of rainfall in this area. So more flash flooding and destructive flooding will be a concern throughout the day today. Gio.
Okay, Cheryl, we will be following that throughout the morning, and we are thinking of those families. Thank you for that.
At least 27 people have been killed, many of them young girls, in flash floods in the U.S. state of Texas, with 27 still missing. Rescue efforts continued today in Kerr County after the equivalent of 4 months of heavy rain fell in just 2 hours in the early hours of yesterday, causing the Guadalupe River to break its banks. Several of those unaccounted for are young campers who were staying at an all-girls summer camp along the banks of the river.
Heavy rain was predicted, but not like this. The River Guadalupe in central Texas transformed into a roiling flash flood as the waters rose 8 meters in the space of 2 hours, sweeping away upturned trees, plastic junk, and, it's feared, dozens of girls at a Christian summer camp a few miles upstream of the small town of Kerrville. Among the confirmed dead, 9-year-old Renee Smalstra. At least 20 of her friends are thought to still be missing. It is a terrible wait for families and friends. Billeted at a local primary school, now a makeshift reunification center.
We will do everything humanly possible 24/7, looking at every tree, turning over every rock, whatever it takes, if your child is one of those truly missing and not just out of touch, to find your daughter.
The aftermath is close to apocalyptic. Residential streets completely submerged, car roofs barely recognizable under the free-flowing waters. Entire homes lifted from their stanchions and dumped asunder. Helicopters winched survivors to safety in the midst of panic.
By the time I went to get my keys to move my truck out of the way, to just back up across the street, the water had risen and flooded my truck. The water got up there in the door about this high, and I looked at my wife and it was like, we need to get out of here.
This part of Texas is known as Flood Alley. Underneath these waters lie thin soil.
When we bought our house here in Texas, it was roughly $100K less to buy within a flood zone. It's dystopian here. If you can't afford to pay the high prices, you risk flooding over and over again. Our flood zones flood probably at least every year, a time or two, and you have to redo that house, especially when we get hurricanes, etc. Yeah, a lot of the densely populated areas of Texas are straight up on flood zones. One of the craziest parts about this, by the way, is when we say, wow, this is unprecedented. At a certain point, unprecedented is going to be precedented. It's getting to a point where all of these unprecedented events are not necessarily unprecedented at all. It's expected. And we haven't caught up yet to that reality. I feel like we always still say like once in a lifetime. This is a once in a lifetime situation. It's like, okay, but it's happening multiple times a year. So I don't know if it's a once in a lifetime situation because it doesn't feel like it's a once in a lifetime situation. You can't keep saying that if it's happening multiple times a year. And at which point we have to obviously redesign society around at least prevention and also relief and recovery. When in fact, the current administration is moving in the exact opposite direction of that, which is so crazy to me. It's like living next to a fucking volcano and being like, oh, it just never explodes, never explodes. And then the volcano erupts and you're like, oh, this happened once, it's fine. And then rebuilding. But then the volcano erupts again every 5 years. And then the volcano erupts again and again and again. And it erupts multiple times a year. And you're still like fucking, you know, Pompeii style, living in the fucking ass cheeks of the goddamn volcano. And just saying like, no, it's fine. Also, we don't need to monitor the tectonic movements at all. We don't need to try to figure out if the volcano is going to erupt at all. And also, whatever kind of like relief and recovery efforts we need in the aftermath of the volcano, fuck it. We don't need that either.
Soils, which when baked in the heat of summer, refuse to soak up thunderstorms. The water just bounces down the hills into bone-dry tributaries. Questions are being raised. Why were these rains so much heavier than predicted?
There's a lot of conspiracy theories floating around about cloud seeding. Yeah, so here's the thing. The reason why those things are increasing, like, you know, Jewish weather machines, cloud seeding, things of that nature, the HARP weather machine gun or whatever, or chemtrails. The reason why that's happening is exactly the same reason why people go crazy mode with mass shootings as well. Mass shootings are not a natural disaster. Mass shootings are commonplace in the United States of America when it shouldn't be commonplace at all. There is a solution to mass shootings. Okay? It's called gun control. But because that is never going to happen, at least with the current order of business, at least in the way that like Americans have designed society, people have to come up with different reasons for why this happened. And at first with mass shootings, it was not door control, but like, oh, these are soft targets. The teachers are not armed, but then the teachers are armed, or at least there's like a cop on fucking site. And then they turn around and say like, oh, we got to arm the teachers. And then the teachers are armed and there's a cop on site. Then they're like, oh, we got to lock these doors, right? Anything but the actual problem. And inevitably you arrive at, when you exhaust all of those other alternative fake solutions, you inevitably will arrive at like something insane, like this is a psyop. This was cultivated. This was created by, you know, the government or something. And it's the same thing with these natural disasters, where we know that they are increasing in size, magnitude, frequency. They are no longer extreme weather events that are once in a lifetime. It's happening numerous times throughout the year. We know what the reason is, but nobody wants to actually actively say what the reason is. And on top of that, we are underfunding the prevention methods. We're underfunding the warning systems, and we are underfunding the recovery and relief efforts. So if you don't actually literally laser in on the problem, the actual problem, you have to come up with an alternative solution. And that's precisely how you arrive at these fucking weird conspiracy theories. That's it. Conspiracy theories are an inevitability if you are desperately avoiding the truth. and you need like some sort of fantastical narrative that ties everything together. And that's why people say, oh, it's the weather machines.
The original forecast that we received on Wednesday from the National Weather Service predicted 3 to 6 inches of rain in the Concho Valley and 4 to 8 inches of rain in the Hill Country. We worked with our own meteorologists to fine-tune that weather statement, and as many of you know, and many of you in broadcast journalism and meteorology, you can go back and look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
Extreme weather events like hurricanes in the U.S. Deep South and fires in California are getting more frequent. It's getting harder to forecast what will happen and where. The vast majority of scientists agree that climate chaos is accelerated by humans burning fossil fuels and increased carbon and methane levels in the atmosphere. But at the same time, the climate skeptic Trump administration is cutting funding and staffing at the National Weather Service and NOAA, which conducts climate research. President Trump yesterday promised help for the communities affected. Central Texas, his MAGA heartland.
We're working with the governor. We're working with the governor. It's a terrible thing.
More heavy rainfall is expected. And while the river waters have begun to recede, the ground is sodden. The risk of further floods has not gone away.
Well, a short while ago, I spoke to Washington Post reporter Arelis Hernandez, who is in Kerr County, and I began by asking her how bad the situation is on the ground.
It's catastrophic for this particular region. Central Texas and the Hill Country is known for floods. The Guadalupe River has flooded in the past, but it seems as though people here did not have a lot of warning that this was coming. And please apologize, there are still rescue helicopters flying overhead.
Yeah.
And people woke up in the middle of the night to rising water all along the Guadalupe River. So where I am, as well as upstream from here. More than 800 rescues were conducted throughout since yesterday morning into today, and those efforts are continuing, waiting to hear whether they will indeed turn into more recovery efforts. So far, I believe 27 is the death toll, and there's still about more than 24 child campers missing.
And that is the horror of this. There are many families that woke up this morning to discover that their daughters may be missing.
Indeed, Camp Mystic is well known throughout the city of Texas. It receives little girls from all across, from Beaumont to Dallas to from Houston, and there were parents who were on their way here to find out whether they would be reunited with their children or if their daughter was among those who are still unaccounted for.
And are there other camps that may be stranded and potentially missing kids?
Well, this is an area popular and a big part of the economy out here, these summer camps, particularly summer youth camps, as well as sort of religious camps. There are about 18 of them. And so there was a similarly situated boys camp, La Junta, that had to be evacuated. As far as we know right now, none of those boys were lost in the water. Most have been evacuated to reunification centers at local high schools, as well as an activity center here not too far away.
And are people angry that the weather forecast didn't predict this huge amount of rain?
I think people are still in the throes of rescue and trying to figure out and put their heads together and processing what has happened here. It's absolutely devastating. I know this area personally. I tube down this river from time to time. I spend a lot of here.
A private weather company is putting blame on local officials. AccuWeather sent warnings ahead of Texas flooding that killed at least 27. These warnings should have provided officials with ample time to evacuate camps such as Camp Mystic and get people to safety, the company said. AccuWeather sent warnings ahead of Texas flooding. Wait, AccuWeather is AccuWeather is the weather forecasting company that gets all of its information from the NWS. AccuWeather is the one that wants to make the NWS privatize, right? So they can control all of the flow of information for commerce and everything else that's like necessary. They want to make that a monopoly market. They want to control all of the information on weather.
Time up here at the vineyards, and I think people are still sort of processing and haven't gotten to that point yet. But I do think that angle will rise as we get a better picture of how many lives were lost here and what could have been done to have prevented some of that loss.
And do you anticipate that there will be any kind of discussion around the I guess, the political context with the defunding of NOAA and weather forecasting for climate skeptic reasons?
Certainly, inevitably, that those are the types of issues that will come up as the
Bro, they're going to cynically do the same thing that they did with mass shootings, where they say, how dare you politicize this? I can see it now. They're going to be like, right now, we're too busy with the recovery efforts, so we're not going to be talking about this, but we will remember what all the Democrats said in the meantime, making this into a political football game, when it's like, dude, you literally did this. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
days continue as search and rescue turns into recovery efforts. I do think that that'll probably be part of the conversation, but certainly not yet what's happening here. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are on social media debating that right now, and defending the National Weather Service. But right now, that is not the conversation that is dominating.
How confident are authorities that the missing people, the missing girls, may be found?
They're making every effort. There have already been sort of miraculous survival stories that have emerged. A woman who was swept almost 20 miles from where she was camping with her family survived by clinging to a tree. I think there is quite a bit of hope, but as we get into deeper into the hours since this tragedy struck, certainly hope is waning.
Arelis Hernandez, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. We're grateful.
Thank you.
And we continue to follow breaking news out of Central Texas. With this hour, a desperate search and rescue effort continues for dozens of people.
This is also like, even if you do a correct autopsy, a correct assessment, and you find out that like the defunding of these agencies did not play a role in this at all, which is highly unlikely because it always plays a role. But let's say they do an autopsy and the autopsy shows that it was because of the severity of this event, that even if there were more people that were able to inform people in proper time, that there would still be plenty of people that got swept away. Okay, then we have to have a larger conversation about how these extreme weather events are, I guess, no longer extreme, that it is just a part of our everyday reality. And therefore, we have to figure out why it's happening. It's that simple.
Missing after floodwaters inundated an area north of San Antonio. Among the missing, 27 young girls from a camp, Camp Mystic, one of many summer camps along the Guadalupe River. And this morning, another round of heavy rainfall triggered more flash flood emergencies in the region. Hundreds have been rescued, including this person who was clinging to a light pole. Officials say at least 27 people have died, 9 children and 18 adults. Among the fatalities, 9-year-old Janie Hunt, her mother confirming to CNN today that the young girl who was among the 24 missing from Camp Mystic has died. And also confirmed killed Jane Ragsdale. She was director at another girls' camp, Heart of the Hills, which was not in session at the time. Ragsdale is described as the heart and soul of that camp. We've got a team of correspondents and
It's so fucking sad, dude.
meteorologists covering these fast-moving developments. Let's begin with CNN's Ed Lavandera in hard-hit Hunt, Texas. Ed.
Hi, Frederica. Well, this morning, as we were arriving here in Hunt, Texas, we were surveying some areas that were heavily damaged. And from just beyond this ledge that went down in toward the edge of the river, we heard a man calling out Joyce Catherine. Joyce Catherine happened several times, and we kind of followed the voice, and that's where we met Ty Baden. He is a father of 21-year-old Joyce Catherine Baden. His daughter had come out here to spend the July 4th weekend with 3 other friends in a home just along the river. And they lost contact with the group around 4 a.m. early Friday morning. Ty Baden has spent the morning walking. By the time we met him, he'd already walked along about a mile, had come across the body of another young victim and called it in to 911. And this is a father desperately searching for his 21-year-old daughter in hopes that he would stumble upon a miracle. Your daughter was here with 2 friends?
Yeah, 3.
3 friends?
You know, and
so 4 of them.
Correct. And she and the young man, they went to elementary school and high school together, and the one of her friends, Ella Cahill, that's her boyfriend, Aiden is, they went to school through high school, so they've known each other a long time. The other girl, her name is Reese. I can't remember her last name right now. She is Ella's roommate at UTSA, so we've never met her or her parents, but God bless her, and we pray that all four of them are still alive.
All four are missing? Yes,
they're all missing, and you know, it's been 4 o'clock yesterday morning that we were told that, you know, they were on the phone with Aiden's dad, who they own the house where they were. It was a very nice house, no longer there. And Aiden said, hey, you know, I've got to go. I got to help Ella and Reese. So he gave the phone to.
Remember, in the backdrop of this also, FEMA is set to be underfunded. It's already underfunded. It's set to be defunded. And some of the disaster, not the disaster relief, but the pre-existing FEMA expenditures, some of the pre-existing FEMA expenditures have been reallocated to the alligator Auschwitz. That's where some of that money is going. You think about the National Guard, right? You think about the National Guard and where those funds, where those funds should be prioritized. Trump's too busy using National Guards in in the state of Florida or the state of California as a part of his like immigrant apprehension schemes. You know, that's where these that's where the effective systems are being used. The existing like military function is being used in that regard, in that direction. Great.
To Joyce Catherine said they just got washed away, and then a few seconds later, the phone went dead, and that's all we know. So we presume that she got washed away as well. And if you go back to where the house is, it's not a good sign. And that's why I was telling you, my son and I are walking, and I thought it was a mannequin. It was a little boy, 8 or 10 years old, and he was dead. So we just...
You saw that this morning?
Yes. So we're just walking and doing the same thing we were doing. Look, when we stumbled across him. But hopefully we can find our children, our daughter and her friends alive. So anyway, I ask you if you would pray, and whoever watches this thing, pray. We got together and picked up our son and came over here, and we waited around at a center, and God bless them, they're doing a great job. It's in Ingram, Texas at the elementary school, and they're kind of like the place where all the survivors are brought. And we were hoping that we would hear our daughter and friends' names called, but they never did call. So we said, this morning we're going to come out and try to find them ourselves.
I mean, you're walking through this mess, hoping for a miracle.
Amen. Keep the faith. That's all we can do. So that's all I got, Ed. Thank you.
Can you tell us about your daughter?
Yes, she's a beautiful girl, and I think I sent you a picture. Just a wonderful girl.
FEMA does a lot of work in mapping floodplains to assess floods and insurance risk. They're defunding now. Will only make things worse. There's about a 25% chance a house will flood in a 30-year mortgage period. If it's in a 1% floodplain, you can type in Kerr County here to see how wide even the 1% floods are mapped from FEMA. I just don't know. I don't know, like where is the disaster recovery people? Like, what? Am I crazy? Shouldn't it be not these guys out there right now? Shouldn't it be like rescue teams mostly out there? Like enough rescue teams that they don't have any need for guys like this, and that guys like this are supposed to literally stay at home under different circumstances. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they normally stop people, like parents, from going to the disaster area because it gets in the way of the recovery and relief efforts, because then it's like not only a liability, but they can also get stuck and then become victims themselves and exhaust the already limited resources that these rescue teams have. I don't know.
Couldn't ask for a better daughter. All through school is just easy, no shenanigans or anything like that. I mean, she was a normal girl. We would have fun, but yes, we loved her dearly.
And Frederico, what just I found gut-wrenching is as we were winding down the interview there, as he continued the search, he told me about how he read a book years ago about a father during World War II whose child had been in a house that had been bombed, and that the father spent days and days combing through the rubble trying.
Oh, yeah, Alligator Auschwitz also got flooded, apparently. I don't know about this video, but this has happened in this area a lot. Anyone missing after a significant amount of time is assumed to be in an underground cave or water system. I don't know if it's this video, but like, no, the video is fake, but it did, from what I understand, it did flood. The video is fake. The video that we are looking at, I think, is not real, but it did actually flood. Like Alligator Auschwitz flooded a couple days ago, and it is going to be so much. I mean, it's Florida wetland. Of course it fucking floods. It's literally, it's built on a swamp. This is the real footage. Oh, here, a good little storm passed over us here at Alligator Alcatraz. Here's what it looks like from inside one of these tents. Wait, why can't I see? Oh yeah, see, this was what happened. Remember, this is like a tent, by the way. Like they're inside of a fucking tent. They will all die. One hurricane and everyone's dead. It's just like it's not designed to survive a hurricane. But that is kind of the point, I think. It's a concentration camp that will very quickly turn into a death camp by design.
Trying to search for his son and never gave up. And after days of combing through the rubble, that the man during World War II found his kid. And he just told me, he goes, I hope I'm that guy today. Gosh. And that's
that's powerful.
Rather stunning moment as you think about what that poor man and his family are going through today.
I hope he's that guy too. All right, Ed Lavandera, thank you so much. Officials confirming at least 27 people are dead and dozens more are missing following severe flash flooding in Kerr County. An intense rescue effort is underway right now after torrential downpours triggered the flooding along the Guadalupe River, raising the water level more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. Our CNN affiliate KABB is on the ground in Hunt, Texas, showing us the catastrophic damage at one community store.
I want to walk you through, they didn't want to be on camera, but they walked me through this area and what it did look like. So they said that this was once all boarded up. This was all brick and now completely opened up. That's just to show how fierce that storm was and how it powered through. I want you to walk with me down here closer so we can get a closer look inside the actual building. You could just see just the debris that is completely clinging on to the building. But if you take a closer look here inside, you could just see.
My dad keeps saying that this recent natural disaster in Texas happened because of Joe Biden and immigrants. What do I even say to that? What? What does that? What are you? What? Bro, I mean, at that point, your dad is he needs to be checking into a fucking insane asylum, dude. What do you mean? Like, sorry, chatter, but your dad is fucking insane. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. I don't understand. I don't even understand how that would make sense at all. Yeah, it's like saying this is a Mexican river. And that's why it flooded the beautiful state of Texas. Like, it's just, at that point, you're so far removed from reality. Bro, that is straight up crazier than even assuming that there is a conspiracy theory that involves, like, space lasers, man. Like, that just doesn't even make any sense. I don't know how you arrive from point A to point Z on that. That's just your dad repeating things that he has heard. It doesn't even have to make sense. He's just a talking point repeat machine.
It is just completely packed in there, just all the debris that just swept right into the Hunt store here in Hunt. This was a staple, they were telling me. I did speak to the cashier who worked here for many years, and so he saw a lot of residents come into the area. I also want to mention that closer down here, again, there's lots of debris.
There's no proof of
branches down power lines.
The alligator prison is to be fitted with an incinerator. I don't think there's proof of this. That sounds insane. I think that's the blue
devastating. What
crazy.
They told me was right over here is where the post office once was. If you believe it, I was completely shocked. He said this is the brick from the post office. And as you can see, it's completely gone at this, it's no longer here. But what we did find was a Cassandra, what's her name tag, which was somewhere further where we first started. It's just, everything is scattered here. It's just devastating, just the amount of destruction this floodwater caused here in Hunt. So we're still speaking with residents here, and I did ask the cashier here about like rebuilding, you know, where do you go from here? And he says, you know, you just completely take this, you just rebuild from the start, bottom up.
And a local resident whose family lived in the area for more than 100 years says he's never seen anything like this.
This very well may be the worst flood Hunt has ever seen, because it would have started back up the South Fork. The devastation is unbelievable. How these kids survived in any of these camps along the river is nothing short of a miracle. But I grew up with this store. I've known, like I said, I've danced here, I've been here, sat by the fireplace in a rocking chair.
I just want to point out something here, but like, these people and who they voted for is utterly irrelevant. And if you bring up who they voted for or say they voted for this or even gloat, I will laser you out of existence. Okay. Just like whenever these kinds of natural disasters take place in a blue state, Republicans immediately are like, well, God's punishing you. And then it happens in a red state. You got Democrats saying, oh, God's punishing you. You wanted this. Okay. You can criticize systems. You can criticize the government and its ineptitude, its malicious criminal negligence. Okay. But you can't fucking blame the people that are going through this horrific experience. Okay. We don't do that shit here.
And drank a beer. The devastation, there are just no words, Taylor, that I can say that describe what I'm seeing. My ranch, it was completely underwater. The water got that high. Just unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And again, 27 people, including 9 children, their bodies have been recovered. They died. And the search continues for 27 young campers, all from an all-girls camp.
In the days since it became clear.
Hold on. Before we get to Zohran Mamdani, there's a couple other things I wanted to cover here, but yeah, I saw this already. Navy to stop sharing satellite weather data with NOAA, which I don't even understand why. As of July 31st, the Navy's Fleet Numerical Meteorology and Oceanography Center will stop sharing satellite weather data with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, according to a NOAA release. I don't even know what this reason is. This service change determination will be permanent. Data gathered from the Defense Meteorological Satellite Program, or DMSP, all near Earth space weather instrument and other Defense Department-owned systems will cease to be provided to the NOAA. Is it because they're like cutting costs? Is it because they're shutting down this fucking satellites? I don't even know if they would shut down the... Will you ever talk about Ibrahim Traoré? Yes, I have in the past. Please stop asking me randomly every single day if I will talk about Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traoré. Okay? Goddamn, chatter. I read security concerns as in cybersecurity or something. That makes no sense. I feel like the war being waged against the National Weather Service and NOAA specifically revolves around, one, privatization, obviously. They want like a private company to own all of the weather forecasting services, because that would be an incredibly profitable institution. You understand? Because every single human being, every single company that engages in logistics, for example, that engages in commerce in some way, needs to know what the weather conditions look like. Okay? And right now, that's all being tracked by the government and actually being distributed for free. If you privatize that, someone can develop an immense fortune, because what are you going to do? You can't engage in any service whatsoever without knowing what the weather is. Okay? There's no world where this exists. Like you can't do agriculture, you can't do logistics, you can't do supply chains, you can't do grocery stores, you can't do anything. No air travel, no commerce whatsoever without knowing without having access to accurate weather forecasts. Yeah, your local pizza shop does scheduling based on weather reports. Everything. It's a necessity for every aspect of commodity production. Okay? Which is wild, because if they paywalled this, it would be an immensely, it would, first of all, costs would go up for every single thing. Okay? It would lead to inflation. Why would it lead to inflation? Because now you have to pay for this service. Unconditionally, everyone has to pay for this service. And either they would do it through a government-funded program, which is what the Democratic version of this would look like. Democrats would basically work in this privatization side and make it a public-private partnership where the government subsidizes this service, but it's in private hands all of a sudden rather than a public good. Okay. The Republicans, on the other hand, would fully privatize it, would offer it subsidies, and then would make it so that everyone has to pay for a subscription on top of that, which would, of course, drive up costs for everything. It's fucking insane. Like paywalling these sorts of reports. The other reason why they want to do this, I suspect, is because the NOAA and the National Weather Service and all of these other predictive mechanisms revolving around climate also do long-standing reports, like decades into the future. They try to do predictions for climate change specifically and how it changes everyday existence. So I suspect that's the other reason why they don't want to have these services, because it kind of fucks up the bag for the fossil fuel companies when people are constantly chirping about how much our carbon footprint is destroying the planet and creating these horrifying, chaotic situations with regular frequency. This is from The Ideological Dismantling of NOAA and NWS, begins on page 674 of Project 2025 and is well underway. Okay? This is from Project 2025 from the Heritage Foundation. The footprint that Trump is following, the blueprint, that Trump is following to a T, okay? Down to every period and comma. Together, these form a colossal operation that has become one of the main drivers of the climate change alarm industry, and as such, is harmful to future U.S. prosperity. This industry's mission emphasis on prediction and management seems designed around the fatal conceit of planning for the unplannable. That is not to say the NOAA is useless, but its current organization corrupts its useful functions. It should be broken up and downsized. NOAA today boasts that it is a provider of environmental information services, a provider of environmental stewardship services, and a leader in applied scientific research. Each of these functions could be provided commercially, likely at a lower cost and higher quality. Oh my God. It's exactly as I said. They want to, one, privatize it so that people can make money off of it. And two, they want to fucking destroy its function as like its primary function, which is to try and predict how bad things are going to get. This is the modern version of like arresting Galileo, okay? Like literally, this is the current capitalist version of this. You're just like, nah, dog. What is this fucking Earth is revolving around the sun bullshit, dude? Nah, the sun is revolving around Earth. Fuck you, okay? That's what this is. Galileo is a fraud, but analogy holds. Yes. Stop. Don't be annoying. You know what I mean. Okay? Oh my God. Every fucking actually Andy is chirping. I knew as soon as I said Galileo, I knew that we were going to get this in the chat. Focus the NWS on commercial operations. Each day, Americans rely on weather forecasts and warnings provided by local radio stations and colleges that are produced not by the NWS, by private companies such as AccuWeather. This is bullshit. This is also a lie. These AccuWeather could not exist without the NWS offering its services to AccuWeather for free. AccuWeather is simply a distributor of NWS reports. Make no mistake, AccuWeather does not have its own internal function. AccuWeather is basically a forwarding mechanism. It is a private message forwarding mechanism. Okay? Oh my God, I'm watching it. I'm watching it happen in real time. It's so fucking frustrating. It's so It's so scary. AccuWeather does not have prediction systems or forecasting systems. It is a message forwarding system. That's all it is. What is their goal for when climate change doesn't magically become a hoax? What do you mean? We're there right now. You're in it. We're currently watching climate change very much being real, and its devastation also being very much unavoidable, undeniable, and you're seeing it. You're seeing what the usual suspects are saying, and you're seeing the actions that they're taking already. Marjorie Taylor Greene, fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, comes out with another banger tweet. I am introducing a bill that prohibits the injection, release, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather, temperature, climate, or sunlight intensity. It will be a felony offense. I have been researching weather modification and working with the Legislative Council for months writing this bill. Bro, she means she read fucking Facebook posts. I can't believe this person is a congresswoman. Like, this is crazy. It will be similar to Florida Senate Bill 56. We must end the dangerous and deadly practice of weather modification and geoengineering. This is not normal. I want clean air, clean skies, clean rainwater, clean groundwater, and sunshine just like God created it. No person, company, or entity or government should ever be allowed to modify our weather by any means possible. Honored to add Tim Burchett, classic, as a co-sponsor, and look forward to working with more members of Congress, hopefully on both sides of the aisle. She does not mean CO2. She does not mean carbon emissions. Okay? When she says harmful injection and dispersion of chemical substances, she means chemtrails. She thinks that there are people out there that are modifying the weather. They're doing like, they're making these floods crazy. They're increasing the intensity of these floods. Like, that's what she's implying. She does not mean methane. She's not talking about the carbon footprint. She's not talking about climate change. Oh, this is like that one Uber driver that I had, but is an immensely powerful figure in American politics, just in general. Like, a congresswoman is a very powerful figure. Like, they have the capacity to write bills like this. They have their own version of a bully pulpit. That's where we're at in this fucking country. We haven't made it illegal yet, at least, for scientists to do what they do best, which is gay woke science. But I feel like, I guess that's the next step eventually. Like, we're making it so that it's virtually impossible for them to conduct their studies. No adequate funding. And then if people still continue doing it in spite of all of those issues, maybe the next step at that point would be to fucking make it illegal. I don't know. Maya has an update from Alveus Sanctuary. It says all of our animals and staff are safe, but this is what our driveway looks like. Nobody will be able to get in or out until we can rebuild the road. That is crazy. No, they kind of have. My colleagues are taking out. That's true, but it's not illegal is what I'm saying. Like, it's still not illegal. They won't go to jail for fucking writing transnational, but they will get dinged for, using the word transnational in a fucking in an article, in a journal, in a scholarly journal. That is real, by the way. The administration is so fucking stupid that when they control F the word trans and will go after research papers that have the word transnational because it has trans in it. Not only are we violently stupid, but we're also doing this in the stupidest way possible. They started with banned words from government-funded scientists in the first term is way worse. Now the EPA workers aren't being indicated, are they? Transducer, electrical engineering is fucked. Transformation. We've taken out the words female and children from our grants. What the fuck? I'm in biology academia. We have to leave out words like diversity in grant applications. Oh, yeah, they did that with transgenic mice. We have the dumbest people leading this goddamn country, and it's leading it into oblivion. Every day things get worse. I am not being alarmist when I say this. Things are just getting worse and worse every fucking damn day. And many people, instead of like recognizing that things are getting worse every damn day are simply getting dumber with the wind. They're just leaning into the stupidity of the admin and they're reveling in it. People wear stupidity as a badge of courage now, as a mark of honor, where they're like, nah, you don't understand. I don't know anything and I'm scared of everything. And that's a good thing, you fucking pussy.
Through such a time as this, and this tragic situation is something that is unprecedented. We recognize that at the federal level. We also recognize that when something like this happens to a community, happens to a state, that the best responders are those locally, because it's your family members, it's your community members that are being impacted, and you can respond quickly. And the role of the state is to run and manage that emergency, but the federal government needs to be here for the support and extra resources on the ground as well. And that is what we are doing and what President Trump has dedicated to continue to do through such a time as this.
I work as a manager in a heart disease and stress study. We ask all our participants about their treatment by police and authority figures, and we lost half of our National Institute of Health funding. My whole team has been fired except for me and one other manager. It's fucking insane. Texas resident already seeing people blame this flood on immigrants somehow. How is that even possible? How, like, what? Like, that makes even less sense than fantasizing about like a Jewish weather machine or something. Like, how have we arrived at a point where like psychopathic anti-Semitic conspiracy theories at least have like some semblance of a logical, like some semblance of a logical through line, as opposed to like what the new meta is? What do they think? That like immigrants, like Mexican immigrants, are doing voodoo? Like they're doing rain dances or something? Like how? Abbott blamed AOC and the Green New Deal for the freeze in 2021. I've had people repeat it to me as the reason to this day. I don't understand it. What's good? Yo, it's in the bag. Right at 2 on the dot. It's crazy. No, Fiona. As a child of immigrants, I can confirm we do be doing rain dances. I work in the natural gas industry. Our VP of operations is a QAnon guy. Climate change is seen as a literal joke. Oh my God. We're so fucking cooked. All right, let's get back to Zohran Mamdani, Chris Hayes.
Clear that Zohran Mamdani would be the Democratic nominee for mayor in New York City. The response from Republicans has been about as unhinged as you might expect. Donald Trump is practically frothing at the mouth, threatening to arrest Mamdani, who, of course, has not broken any laws. There's talk on the right that they're going to, like, denaturalize him and deport him. At least one Republican congressman has called for the 33-year-old state assemblyman, a naturalized U.S. citizen, to be deported. And it hasn't just been that. Even some establishment Democrats have refused to back their party's choice or said really vile things about him, despite the overwhelming enthusiasm for his candidacy here in New York. But if there's one thing Mamdani has demonstrated over the course of this campaign so far, is he's pretty good at just kind of sticking to his principles and message discipline. He doesn't bow down in the face of pressure, but then he keeps pivoting back to the center of what he campaigned on, which is affordability.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm holding on to Zohran like he's the last bit of fucking weed I got, you know? Like I'm like a crackhead and I run out of all the crack cocaine, and this is like the little bit of fucking baking soda lace crack I got that I found under the crevice of the kitchen, okay? And I'm smoking it. I'm like, I need it. I need a hit. Every time like horrible shit is happening, I just go back to Zohran for a second to be like, well, see, there's this. Just one last hit, you know what I mean? That's cool. Just a little bit of hopium in these trying times. I think this is why people aren't used to you doing IRL things, having fun outside with people. We're all used to being depressed and unwell together. Yeah. Let's take a hit of Mamdani right now, okay? That good Mamdani Kush.
And that is exactly what a lot of Democrats, again, across the ideological spectrum, have been both talking about and are looking for right now. Lydia Polgreen had a good piece in the New York Times this week, writing, quote, Mamdani's win is a rebuke of the strategy such as it is that many leading Democrats have advocated in the face of Trump's shock and awe attempt to remake the presidency and the country in his dark image, haplessly veering between not getting distracted by Trump's lawless actions and signaling their moderation in the face.
Yeah, the New York Times is also doing everything in its fucking power right now to just like put out that last bit of hope that people have in their hearts, which is crazy.
face of Trumpian antics as their base marches in the streets, Democrats are missing the core political reality of our time. Emma Vigeland co-hosts The Majority Report with my buddy Sam Cedar. Faz Shakir is a senior advisor to Senator Bernie Sanders and the executive director of More Perfect Union, and they join me now. Emma, I want to start with the response to Mamdani and what you make of it. In some ways, he's sort of created in a lab to make Republican and conservative politicians absolutely lose their mind, and they have not disappointed. But there's also been broadly a lot of pretty insane reaction.
Okay.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, just think about this for a second. The fact that so many people see Zoran Mamdani, a man who is born in Uganda and of Indian heritage, and they immediately go to anti-Semitism or Hamas. What else can you call that? And as you just said, Chris, this is not just Republicans. Republicans, of course, we expect that. So many of the arguments that I'm hearing against Mamdani now, I feel like I could have heard them against Obama in 2008 when he won the nomination, where it's just this constant stream of racist attacks. And unfortunately, though, we saw from politicians like Kirsten Gillibrand and others some really unfortunate Islamophobic racism directed at Mamdani. And it's just incredible to me to see how, despite the fact that Democratic voters, now CNN showed this the other day, that they sympathize with Palestinians by more than 43 points at this point, that...
Wait, is she still at her honeymoon? Or is she back from her honeymoon? Because is she back? That's crazy. She's tuning in, doing work on the honeymoon.
You still see this reflexive reaction
because she's back on Monday. Okay.
Faith from members of this of the party here, trying to shut him down and trying to negate his message, especially when Democrats are talking about, oh gosh, we have to bring young people and young men back into the fold. The youth vote in this race was absolutely overwhelming. Pollsters, I think, estimated prior to the race that 18 to 44-year-olds would be around 30% of the electorate. They were nearly half. So if we want to bring young people back into the fold, this tactic of trying to silence him or not endorse him, it's the absolute wrong way to go.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, I want to be clear here about the there's sort of two things going on with him. I mean, there's this really Islamophobic and disgusting sort of racist attacks as othering. His politics on the question of Israel and Palestine, he co-founded Students for Justice in Palestine. He was an advocate for boycott, divestment, sanctions. Like, his politics on that are politics that a lot of people in the Democratic Party do not share and oppose on the merits. I just want to make the distinction. Like, some people just don't like what he says about the issue because they have different views. One of the things that you end up having to do, Faz, in Democratic coalitional politics, which I think is one of the things I think he's done very well, is that's kind of what happens in coalitional politics. Like, you are going to have views that people don't like, and you're going to...
Yeah, except who is this for? Like, the Democrats have a different view on genocide. It's true. They're fucking monsters on that. But the problem is the Democrat Party view, the party line amongst the politicians, is directly at odds with the people's position, with the fucking overwhelming majority of Democratic Party voters. So it bears repeating. You must ask this question over and over again. Who is this for then? If you are a representative, if you are a public servant, if you are supposed to represent the interests of your constituencies, and your constituency is diametrically opposed to your output on this issue, who are you representing actually?
I have to figure out how to talk to people about it, not just sort of like abandon those views and double back because that looks totally inauthentic, but also focus on the things where you do have the kind of maximal amount of power and consent.
Yeah, like, I don't think the Democratic Party leadership is quite calibrated to the 105-point divide between the GOP voters and Dem voters. From what you know about the situation in the Middle East, do your sympathies lie more with the Israelis or more with the Palestinians? Republicans say 64% lie with the Israelis. Democrats say 60% lie with the Palestinians. It's not even a question. Like, if you are a Democrat, it's over. your voters do not fuck with Israel at all. Okay, your voters are on the fuck Israel train. But the party, if you were to look at just the party alone, you would think that there is a 60% pro-Israel sentiment amongst the fucking base. You would think that the overwhelming majority of Democratic voters' sympathy lies with the Israelis, when it's the exact opposite.
And I think, my criticism of a current modern Democratic Party is it's lacking in grassroots-ism. And here comes Zoran building from a grassroots coalition, a constituency of people who care deeply about not only this issue, a whole set of issues around affordability. And I would hope that more Democrats would heed it and say, hey, maybe there's something to learn from this. Maybe even, on a whole set of issues, is there something that we could sit down and talk to him about and gather his inputs on rather than...
Yeah, they leaned on Ossoff after his first vote to block weapons to Israel before flipping on the second vote to approve weapons. And it's really interesting because John Ossoff is Jewish. Jewish Georgia leaders say Ossoff is making amends but still has more work to do. They literally went in. They made the boss call. John Ossoff is Jewish, and it was like, I don't think we should be giving weapons to Israel. This is fucked up. And they literally fucking made a boss call and made him pack that shit up real quick. Yeah, he voted with Bernie Sanders to block aid to Israel. All right, look at the fucking sinister framework here at play. Like, Georgia Jews only care about giving weapons to Israel. Excuse me. Like, is that even the case? Also, you don't just represent the Jewish population of Georgia anyway, even if that was the case. You represent the entire base of support from Georgia, and it's not fucking... It's not, especially on the Democratic side, is not even a question. It's not even a question. It's like, this is not, you are going against the wishes of your voters at that point.
To stiff arm him and push this entire coalition away, which of course is why a lot of the coalition that Zoran has won has felt pushed out of the Democratic Party. He brought people back in.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember this fucking psychotic letter. Atlanta letter to Senators Ossoff and Warnock on their vote to block arms sales to Israel. They were like, you better not do that. Bro, they hit like insane notes. It's like, look at this. Jewish Fertility Foundation. Jewish kids groups demands that John Ossoff send weapons to the apartheid state. It's like, bro, do you have no shame at all? Like, this right here is a perfect demonstration of what I'm talking about. All these fucking advocacy groups and shit, they're all operating with one goal in mind. Like, they don't give a fuck about whatever their primary focus is supposed to be. Like, what do you mean Jewish kids groups and Jewish Home Life and Jewish Fertility Foundation signed off on a letter that said you must give more weapons to Israel? Synagogues, houses of worship being like, no, you don't understand. This is like the most important thing for us. Jewish kids groups. Yeah, it's in the name. Our job is to, kill Palestinian kids? Is that what it is? Is that what the primary focus is for Jewish kids groups?
Who had been not voting in 2024. So, it's frustrating, but this is part of a billionaire agenda. To be clear, you have Bill Ackman, you got Barry Diller, you got a whole bunch of people, Mayor Bloomberg, who all are dumping money in. And so you'll see these smear attacks. You'll see them from Trump because they want Eric Adams. They want an indicted mayor of New York City to return. And so you're going to have distraction, the politics of distraction for sure.
Well, but there's something he does that I think reminds me of what Bernie Sanders, I think, has done quite effectively. I mean, I should note, Waleed Shahid published this great analysis we've had on the show of like mainstream media coverage of Mamdani, which has been like overwhelmingly about Israel and Palestine and Gaza, even though that was not at all the focus of his campaign at all. And in fact, like he would get asked it by the media, but he was always talking about affordability. And Emma, one of the things I think he does well that reminds me of Sanders is he gets this Venn diagram of stuff that he believes in, that's progressive policy, and that sound good to a lot of people, a rent freeze. And he'll talk about other stuff, and he doesn't run away from his values on that sort of stuff. But like Bernie Sanders, who I have interviewed literally hundreds of times, he will turn you back to those talking points about the stuff he wants to focus on over and over and over again, where he feels most confident he's got the biggest audience.
Absolutely. And Faz knows this, working for the OG Sanders here. But like, this is how you beat billionaires, and you combat a campaign finance system that is immensely corrupt. Now in New York City, we have matching funds, and that's a huge, I think, model for the rest of the country as to how to combat this influx of corporate money that is now completely dominating the Republican Party. But you have, as Faze just said, Bill Ackman, DoorDash, Mike Bloomberg, all just pouring in endless money into the Fix the City super PAC because basically Citizens United since 2010 said we're going to merge corporate personhood and we're going to make it so that corporations can have unabridged speech because speech equals money, like Buckley V. Vallejo said. And this has created this toxic storm that has brought us to this moment of oligarchy. And it's just incredible to me that you can have Andrew Cuomo, who has like the litany of just absolute scandals behind him, but who also on this issue of Israel-Palestine recently volunteered his services for Benjamin Netanyahu as his lawyer on ICC war crimes charges in late 2024, when Israel had already been accused of committing genocide by countless credible scholars and by Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. So you have a guy who's lapping up Trump donor money, billionaire money, and offering to defend a man who is slaughtering hundreds of innocent people a day. And National Democrats are flummoxed that primary voters weren't into this kind of thing, specifically because I do think there is another racism here or bigotry that's not being talked about, which is the assumption that Jewish voters are going to just be led by this one particular issue. New York City has one of the largest Jewish populations in the world. And I found a lot of the rhetoric about what they thought, what a lot of national pundits thought Jewish voters would do in this race to be pretty anti-Semitic. Turns out Jewish New Yorkers are like everybody else. We're voting, and it's the economy, stupid, as Carville would say, right? These are kitchen table issues.
Yeah, this is the thing about when you get to the number. There's a million Jewish folks in New York City, roughly. It's a city of 8 million people. It's the thing, Faz, that like you always have to come back to with every group, and this is a thing that we all fall prey to, I think, in political analysis. Like when you're talking about a million of anyone, like people got a lot of different views inside that million.
Yeah. Also, Jews voted 75% for the Democratic Party this last election cycle, and Israel was in the 9th out of the top 11 concerns. It ranked as 9th priority. So clearly there's some other reasons, regardless of the fact that America is uniparty on Israel and foreign policy. Clearly, Jewish voters are not prioritizing Israel as a primary concern. This doesn't mean that there aren't Jews who do think Israel is their primary concern. I'm sure there are plenty of them that vote consistently for the Republican Party. Okay? Gabish?
Million. Like that's a lot of people, and there's a kind of shortcutting that ends up happening a lot, particularly in Democratic politics, because it's such a diverse coalition.
And to try to address the coalitional politics you were talking about earlier, to bring people together on a common set of agenda. This is why Bernie Sanders and myself go back to the things that we know that huge amounts of Jewish Americans, Muslim Americans, Asian Americans, you name them, are going to feel, hey, can I talk to you about the issues around busing? Can I talk to you around the issues of housing? If I talk to you about the issues of childcare, how much will that resonate with you? They'll start to hear. And we are frogs boiling in water in the sense that the politics all around us has become this kind of sense of elitism-driven politics. Here in the Senate, not only do you have this kind of bill that you've been talking about all day, and then you got crypto. How do these things get moved to the top of the agenda? But and here you have, if you were to describe the AOC politics, the Bernie politics, the Mamdani politics, is to say you're on behalf of people. What would it look like if you said, hey, you know, the number one agenda item is we're going to talk about housing costs. It's so, to many people, it's like crazy that it's not on the agenda anywhere. Why? Because we don't have a working class politics that drives the agenda. People know that.
Speaking of people insane mode over the prosecution of Israel's unpopularity, the British police have arrested protesters on suspicion of terror offenses after Palestine Action was banned. Palestine Action was banned after one of the direct actions that they engaged in, where they went to the Royal Air Force planes, like they went to a Royal Air Force plane hangar and spray painted some of these planes that were supposed to ship weapons to Israel with red paint. And the government worked to proscribe Palestine Action as a terrorist group. So now when you say that you are pro-Palestine Action, it is akin in the UK, in the United Kingdom, to saying that you are pro-ISIS. Terror offenses from that bill can hold up to a 14-year prison sentence. And in the process of this, they also arrested an 80-year-old priest for holding up a sign that says, "I support Palestine actions." Only a handful of MPs voted in opposition to prescription. Prescription is the process in which, in the UK, a group is prescribed to be a terror organization. They have it for like ISIS. They added cynically a couple Nazi groups into this bill as well in an effort to make sure it passed. Okay. And now they're packing people up. By the way, JD Vance, you were completely correct that we do not have freedom of speech in this country, and you shouldn't have let Keir Starmer openly lie to you that we do. She faces now up to 14 years in prison and a criminal record as a terrorist, significantly limiting her ability to travel. In British law, she is the equivalent of an ISIS operative. Here is the extent of the British police deployed to arrest a handful of priests, professors, and activists for holding up signs that say, "I oppose genocide, I support Palestine action." Think about that. Think about how fucking insane that is. I, of course, posted about this as well, even though Philip Proudfoot is adding JD Vance about the lack of free speech in the UK. I say JD Vance and Marco Rubio made a big show of how horrible the free speech rules were in the UK. Now that it's an actual egregious, cynical violation of free expression because it's against Israel, they'll say nothing. Hell, they champion the same restrictions here. Add insult to injury, Keir Starmer himself defended a group of anti-war protesters against the Iraq war that did the exact same thing that Palestine Action did.
Here today.
Like the cop, the booby, is holding on to this dangerous terrorist, okay? This dangerous terrorist woman. Once again, technically, under British law, I'm currently showing you terrorism propaganda. Do you understand how fucking stupid that is? Hopefully this will shed a little bit of light onto how stupid the terrorism designation is and how little it should matter for normal human beings. Okay? Because right now I am technically promoting a dangerous terrorist group according to the United Kingdom. This lady is, under the eyes of the law as of today, basically an ISIS affiliate.
You make us proud, auntie. Look after yourself.
You're a hero. You are a hero.
They're going to ban you for this. Be careful. No, the fuck they're not, dude. You're out of your mind. That would be the absolute dumbest thing that anyone could ever do. No, please stop with this fucking insane fear mongering. Are you out of your fucking mind? Oh.
You, not so much. Free Palestine!
Look at this clip from England. The cognitive dissonance is insane.
A national.
Yeah, I already covered this the other day. I know. Yeah, British nationals who commit war crimes and participate in genocide are allowed no questions asked back into the UK. Also, a recent BBC story revealed that MI5 was protecting a neo-Nazi informant who was a known abuser and lied to courts about it. So I don't think our Prime Minister human rights lawyer gives a shit. Yeah, add insult to injury, though. Like I said, when he was a human rights lawyer, he defended in the courts, in the British court system, he defended someone who did a protest, did the exact same thing as Palestine Action, which was to spray paint planes that were fucking, I think to spray paint or dump paint on planes that were supposed to fly to Iraq.
Why are you here?
I understand America's dedication towards defending Israel, but it really confuses me as to why UK takes such draconian action when it comes to things associated with Israel. I guess they're working towards Western interests, but I don't know. What do you mean? Israel is initially a British settler colony. Israel was created by England. Israel was created by the British. They made it, and they've actively participated in the genocide. At least currently, today, they have no reason to. They currently have no reason to do all of this. The reason why they're doing this is because they want to feel powerful. It's so fucking stupid. Starmer has a lobby group set up by MI5 and corporate lobbyists. He's a pure conduit for capital's interest in the media. Knew it during his campaign because he was literally doing deals with them for good coverage, including being one of the main people actively getting rid of Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, yeah. Holocaust survivor from the UK talks about it on the Bad Hosborough podcast interview. Yeah, Double Down News also did a good job covering that, too. Zoe Gardner cited Starmer defending activists on LBC.
Palestine Action have been involved in a sustained, aggressive, broad campaign that undermines the rule of British law and undermines Britain's national security. They've engaged in 356 direct attacks to the tune of £55 million worth of damage. And
yeah, by the way, what they're describing is like dumping paint on Elbit Systems, which is a Israeli weapons manufacturer, or doing stuff like this, dumping paint on like Royal Air Force planes, right? And it's literally direct action. People in England always yell at climate change protesters for going to like museums and throwing a can of soup or something at a painting. They'll be like, oh, if you want to be impactful, why don't you go after the real people, the harmful people, the oil and gas giants, right? Fucking hell. So when these guys are literally doing that, okay, when they are directing their animosity, anger to entities and organizations, institutions, private and public, that directly participate in this ongoing genocide, then they're like, you're a fucking terrorist and you need to go to jail. You're basically ISIS.
And underneath our Terrorism Act, they've met all the conditions, which are very tightly laid out, which means that they are now, and have been, as we've heard from the Home Secretary earlier today, prescribed.
Zoe Gardner. I mean, absolutely terrifying to hear that. I think we really need to take a step back from the concept of whether we agree or not with their aims and ask ourselves, is this terrorism? Is the intention of this to sow terror? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is not even the thin end anymore of that wedge. I think this is a serious threat to our civil liberties. I think it is quite clear, and if you would just indulge me for a second, I did make a very short list of a couple of other instances where this same type of action of attempting to disarm RAF jets has been taken in the past. In 1996, 4 women vandalized an RAF jet, preventing its travel to Indonesia for complicity in the East Timor genocide. They were found not guilty. In 2003, activists sabotaged fuel tankers to disrupt...
There you go, chat. I'm Communist Luffy. Boom. Easy.
US warplanes reaching Iraq. It was Keir Starmer who was the lawyer who defended them on the basis that they were acting for the greater good to prevent war crimes from taking place. And in 2017, 2 activists attempted to disarm Typhoon jets to prevent them reaching Saudi Arabia and to take part in war crimes in Yemen. And they were again found not guilty on the basis that they were attempting to prevent war crimes, which is the true intention, actually, of this group. It is not their intention to intimidate or to damage national security. It is their intention to prevent war crimes from taking place, which are taking place. And while we can agree that they took the matters into their own hands, they knew they were committing criminal damage, they knew they were committing vandalism, and they should be charged under those terms. The idea that they are terrorists and that I, now for expressing my support for them, could face serious terrorist charges, up to 14 years in jail, is a terrifying escalation and abuse of state power, and we should not stand for it for a second.
Technically, according to the law, even saying that you oppose Palestine Action being prescribed as a terrorist organization is against the law and you can get 14 years. Well, you know, I stand with Palestine Action, and they should not be proscribed, and they are a moral force for good in this island of cruelty and evil that's getting seemingly worse and worse every fucking day. They also are the voice of the majority. They are not alone, and any attempts to fucking prosecute this is going to backfire spectacularly, because this kind of cruelty only creates more resentment, only creates more animosity, because everyone understands, the overwhelming majority of the public are fully aware of what the fuck is going on, and they're obviously understandably frustrated with the fact that their governments are not doing anything. They're not doing the right thing. And on top of that, this kind of like over prosecution is going to really piss off people.
Are the ones killing children.
Arrested for allegedly supporting a newly designated terrorist organisation. From midnight on Friday, it became illegal to be a member of or to support Palestine Action after the Home Secretary prescribed the group. placing it alongside the likes of Hamas and Al-Qaeda. Displaying the group's logo is enough to potentially face a lengthy prison term, yet that didn't stop dozens of people standing up against what they say is an attack on democratic rights.
Are you not afraid that you're going to potentially go to jail for 14 years?
Can't arrest us all.
It does seem that there is quite a lot of police here to do it.
The juror's like, they're trying. Madam, look at the amount of bobbies. They are trying to arrest you all.
Exactly that, though.
There are so many people on side. I repeat, they can't arrest us all.
I support the unprescription of Palestine Action because I don't think they've done anything that warrants them being put in the category of terrorists. I think there's a noble tradition of civil disobedience in Britain.
For the government, a line was crossed after Palestine Action was accused of...
Are left-wing extremists a threat in Britain? 64% of Labour says no. 34% of Conservatives say no. 34% of Reform says no. Overall, 47% say no. 36% say yes. That's crazy. The fact that there are 36% of the British public consider left-wing extremists a threat to Britain is nutty. The ability to prosecute people for only verbal support of a prescribed organization was only added in 2010. The Terrorism Act was put in 2000. Yeah. Poll, more in common. Ask voters to list Labour's biggest achievement after 1 year in power. The top answer by a landslide, nothing. Followed by NHS, I guess. Don't know what they did for the NHS. Maybe they did some. I haven't been paying close attention. Oh, yeah. I did see what happened to Alveus. After I finish this, I'm going to head over to March. Are you ready to go? All right. You can fire it up. I'm going to get it ready to go.
Of breaking into RAF Bryce Norton and spraying Air Force jets with red paint last month, causing millions of pounds of damage. There's no suggestion anyone at the central London protest was involved.
The Metropolitan Police had warned protesters in advance that if they showed support for Palestine Action, they would be arrested. Now that the group has been proscribed, clearly those warnings were not heeded.
Lawyers for the now outlawed group launched an 11th-hour legal bid on Friday to block the ban from coming into effect, but judges at the High Court and the Court of Appeal backed the Home Secretary.
Do you feel like you've got to be careful with what you say now?
Definitely, I would say yes, especially here.
Among those arrested under the Terrorism Act...
You can't just drop that and not explain. I already covered it. The animals and the staff at Alveus are safe. But the driveway is completely flooded and no one will be able to get in or out until we can rebuild the road, Maya said.
83-year-old Reverend Sue Parfitt. Yet the authorities didn't manage to round everybody up.
They didn't arrest me despite my badge this time, but I think next time they'll be taking me.
Protesters are vowing to continue their action until the group is deprescribed. Now they will have to wait to find out the sentences of those arrested on Saturday and decide whether continued support is a risk worth taking. Oliver Whitfield-Mirchich, Sky News, London.
This morning, the Gaza Health Foundation said 2 Americans have been injured in a suspected terror attack at an aid distribution center in Gaza. It comes as...
What are you wearing? I'm Communist Luffy. I suspect I'm going to be hearing a lot of this going forward. P just said Hassan should be here. Yeah, I'm on my way. Link the t-shirt, please. I will tank the ban for spamming. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Bro, fuck you. Wait, what? Why? Why, bro, fuck you, says Peach. Peach just says, bro, fuck you. Why? What did I do? I'm on my way. I'm literally, the car is outside. We're leaving right now. Because you were supposed to be heading out 2 hours ago? No, I was supposed to be heading out 38 minutes ago. Okay? And we're not. We're leaving now. Here, I'll play something for you guys in the period while we're waiting.
I made a dinosaur.
What? It's here. Wait, I wanna put this on a playlist though, because this might be a little bit longer than we need. Play the Doom Scroll pod. Hold on. Loop it. No, that's lame. Okay, whatever. I'll loop it. And you guys will be annoyed. All right. Wow. See you on the other side.
Austin! What is the point of having you here if all you do is destroy?
Damn, this guy's good.